Hey everyone, so this is Michael Assraf here. I'm the CEO and founder of Flamingo. Flamingo is an AI open sourced, basically vertical IT business that starting with target MSPs, managed service providers, which are outsourced IT service providers, mostly for small and medium businesses. That's my second startup, and that's the second startup that I'm building in product-led growth mode, meaning that the product itself is open on the website. Anyone can join. Right now it's still on beta, but the ultimate goal is for any person can go on the website and start using the product on his own without hold handing of any salesperson, etc. Both the first business that I built and also this business, for the first phase at least, we were focused on lower ACV deals, meaning that we were not targeting six-figure deals of enterprise Fortune 500 companies, etc. So it kind of forced me in my previous company to focus a lot on the efficiency and how transactional things are when it comes to manage leads, onboard them, track performance, track customer success, and things like that. I had something kind of similar in my previous company, but when I started to build Flamingo, I kind of took a different approach on how to look at the business as a whole and where should we put our efforts when it comes to tracking of things like collections, MRR, ARR, financial metrics, investor reportings, and things like that. And the main thing when I started to build this company was about unifying as much as possible single sources of truth when it comes to data about marketing, about product, about spend, about investments, about pretty much everything. And once you get everything under one place, the tracking becomes much easier, and also reporting internally, but also externally, and also generation of new content or new ways of making the experience of the user is becoming much more easier. So at Flamingo right now, we have a unified code base when it comes to all of our internal system, but also our website, our community product called OpenMSP, and also our physical community called the Miami Cyber Gang. So all of them, plus all of our internal hubs, and we're going to touch them in a second, they share the same database and they share the same code base, meaning that components can be easily shared among different platforms. And also we have a unified library that is also being used inside of the product itself. So for example, if we want to include in the product things like product releases that are also on our website, it's pretty easy to do because they're all sharing the same code base. We talked a bit about why we're doing it and what's the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is to reduce as much as possible human touch in any of the processes of content generation, lead tracking, users tracking, all of it. Like I want it to be as hands-off as possible, just because of two reasons. Today it's easy, right? People build AI products and vibe coding products very quickly. If you build it in a way that it's nicely architecture, you're also not building huge technical debt, which is kind of what we're trying to do with unified leaps and things like that. But from the business perspective, the reason we do that is what I kind of led with, which is if you build a business that the users and the ACV, the average contract value, is mostly on the, I wouldn't say lower side, but it's like less than 100 mil per customer, you need to have the transactional approach of the business has to be super significant, because otherwise it's just going to break at a certain point. Because once you have a lot of customers, once you have a lot of users, leave aside the product itself, the processes that surround it are going to be very intense when it comes to human labor, meaning that you will have the business scalability highly attached to the ratio of the amount of people you have. And that's also relevant for sales growth businesses, etc. And that's kind of what I'm trying to disconnect. I'm trying to disconnect how scalable the business is, both from product perspective, but also from internal operations, tracking, making sure users are happy, making sure they consume the content we want them to consume in an easy manner. And that will impact significantly on how scalable the business is, and will disconnect the amount of employees or humans that the business have, and his ability and the business ability to become highly scalable and grow super fast. To do that, we built 5 different hubs. So we started with the marketing hub. Marketing hub is doing a bunch of stuff, and we'll touch on this podcast. We'll touch on all of the different. We have full CMS, we have full social media management, everything that we build on our own. The CMS is communicating with all of our different external channels, like all of the websites that we have, the community, the physical community on our website. We have pre-release pipeline management, a PLG CRM event tracking. So this is also something I took from my previous company. When you build a PLG business, you can't have AE following up on any sort of event that is happening on the customer dashboard. You have to make those things automated. So we built a lot of processes that report both from our system, but also from the different channels that we run. And then we can see things, for example, user has signed up for the product, and then he went on a website and asked for a demo. So all those events are correlated together, or even more deep events. For example, user has on board the product, deployed some devices, and then something happened, and he started to removing them, or he added a bunch of them very quickly. So we want to follow up and make sure that the experience is good. And that's cross-connected between our marketing channels, our product channels, and everything. And that's also being reported in a unified manner. So all of this information is also getting reported in terms of ARR, MRR, cost per lead, etc., because also the marketing information is there. So in the marketing hub, we also have a PLG CRM events tracking that we send from all of those different systems into our unified Flamingo Ops database. And from there, we're using HubSpot. So we report back to HubSpot. We have AI agents that create media and create content. We can manage it and also generate that content. We can also repurpose content. So for example, this podcast, once it's going to go live, we will be able to automatically with AI agents generate video bites, generate highlights, add a transcript, creating more content from that transcript. And that's available for everything, not only for podcasts, it's also for webinars, for customer interviews, for case studies, for everything that is video oriented. Podcast management, we have an integration to Podbean, and community user management, mostly related to the Slack community that we have, and also to the community vendor directory that we built. And then we have Product Hub. Product Hub is basically a product manager slash technical writer that it's all AI driven. So we have, as I said before, we have a lot of video things and AI agents that helps us repurpose and reuse videos. So customer interviews, mostly for investors. So it's not only good customer interviews, it's also interviews of users saying, okay, you're missing that. And once you're going to have it, we're going to use you. So once any new investor comes and wants to check on the business, we have a bunch of interviews that we can provide. All of them are like 1 hour long with our ACV, with the ICP that we're targeting. Case studies, we have customer interview to case study AI generator, so we can create case studies directly from customer interviews. Technical writing, we have GitHub Actions processes that runs through our code, generate tutorials, generate dev documentation, security practices, everything is completely automated. Product releases, so it's also automated. We have interface between ClickUp, which is our software project management software, and our product hub. So we consume all of the product roadmap and enhancements and bug fixes that happen at a certain given of time, and we automatically generate a product release. We also have video, etc., that we add to the product release, so it's easier to consume, and everything is being transcribed. Highlights are generated, and video bytes are generated completely automatically. Webinars, so we're using Livestorm for webinars, and we kind of have also automated processes. So once a webinar is done, we automatically push it to the website. We can create, again, video bytes, highlights, etc. So it's all automated. We also have connection between Livestorm and HubSpot, so all the leads are immediately getting consumed there. Product management, product roadmap management, also driven from ClickUp. We built an integration between our product hub and GitHub, so we can prioritize which roadmap items need to go earlier. Product quality management, that's mostly to report users once a bug they found is getting fixed. And we also have interfaces between ClickUp and HubSpot that, for example, if someone is opening a ticket, we open a ticket on ClickUp for our R&D team. And once this ticket gets completed and deployed to production. All of the tickets that are associated with that bug or bug report or end user ticket will be automatically closed, and the user is going to be informed about it. Same goes with roadmap. For example, if someone is asking for Linux client and we still don't have one, once a Linux client is going to get deployed to production, all of those tickets that are related to it will be immediately closed. Future hubs that we currently don't have, but we're going to add, is Revenue Hub and People Hub. Revenue Hub is for all of the things that relates to quality of our revenue, ARR, MRR, everything from Stripe, collections, how many users didn't pay us and things like that. Customer success, did user removed or added a lot of devices? How quality is his deployment and how can we make it better? Post-sales KPIs for the first 2 weeks after a user signs with us. We want to make sure that he's getting all of his devices deployed. So all of those KPIs are going to be on Revenue Hub. Revenue Hub is mostly for the sales/customer success team, maintaining customers, making sure new customers that are getting onboarded are happy with the results. People Hub, we the seed round, and we significantly increasing our team, and we want to make sure that culture, etc., is getting kept on the same level that we have when the company was like 5 or 10 or 15 people. We used to use, we're still using 360 employee reviews, but we also want to integrate into People's Hub things like GitHub contributions, PRs, quality of the code that each engineer is providing, etc. Also, there's going to be internal announcements for our employees, so our employees will also be able to access it. And the most recent thing that we did because of the funding round is the Company Hub. The Company Hub basically sits on top of all the systems and provide one control plane on top of all of the different data that we have. So let's say that a new investor wants to check on the business. We provide him access to a Company Hub, and then he can see KPI tracking. For example, now we're pre-revenue, so we have things like how many people joined the waitlist, when did they join the waitlist, who are they, data room management. So we have a way to add Figma, Markdown, Google Sheets, and PDF files into a unified document store. And we have AI that sits on top of it. So imagine that you have a VC that you signed a term sheet with, and they want to check on the company. Instead of going and browsing through a million files or asking you to provide all of those files, they just ask AI, what's the articles of association, where was the company registered, when it was registered, etc. And AI just scrapes all of this information and automatically gives them the answer. Investor updates, also completely automated. You have all of the KPIs are being pulled automatically. It's basically me that is doing it, but all I need to do is just to provide the period that I'm reporting about, and that's it. Everything is getting done pretty much automatically. Cap table management, we built a Carta integration. So we present the cap table on our Company Hub pretty nicely. And financial tracking, we use pilot.com, which is also kind of an AI accounting firm. Like most of the things they do behind the scene is also AI driven. So we also consume this data, and then we provide prospect or existing investors with a way to see what we're spending money on, how are we going in terms of burn rate, how much runway we have. All of it is completely automated, and all of the Company Hub information is being refreshed automatically. There is nothing none of us needs to do. And yeah, so that's kind of all of the hubs that we currently have. This is kind of how they look like, but we're going to drill down into each one of them throughout this podcast series. So if you're interested, we will share, I think, in my opinion, there's going to be some interesting topics for builders and for people that are looking to build highly efficient businesses, probably more on the PLG side. But I think that even for enterprise targeting a startup and businesses, I also think it's good. Like, no one will be angry if you will build a more efficient business and you will target like higher ACV customers, but vice versa, it's definitely going to be a problem. So stay tuned. Hope to be a help for you guys. Thank you very much.